Hello fellow book lovers and welcome back to the Bibliovert channel. My name is Jacqueline and for today's video we are going to be doing the April Plan With Me. To get started, I needed to go through and update my index, as well as my favorite book of the year ranking and my year in review spread. I'm not gonna lie, this is still one of my all-time favorite spreads. I absolutely love it and definitely have plans to include this in all my future bullet journals. I also wanted to go through my March spread and add what my favorite book of the month was with a quote as well as my monthly stats. I'm not gonna lie, this was a challenge. It was really close between Hook, Line, and Sinker and Crescent City House of Sky and Breath. I absolutely loved both. However, I do think Hook, Line, and Sinker, for obviously very different reasons, may have just won by an absolute little hair, but I'm kind of wanting to go through and do a reread of Sky and Breath pretty soon, so maybe it'll show up on my favorite book of the year spread in a later month. So like always, we have a poll over on our Patreon where our patrons can vote for what book is going to inspire that month. So if you have any guesses, go ahead and drop them in the comments down below. I will be revealing what book inspired this spread. But I'm not gonna lie, I was really excited about this one. This is a book that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I was really thrilled to get to do it. Also, I've kind of noticed that I can get stuck in ruts and just do the same thing every month. I tried to do something different last month with the map. However, I wanted to continue to challenge myself, so I tried a new technique to me, definitely not new in the art world, but I was actually surprisingly pleased with the way that it turned out. I spent an obscenely long amount of time trying to find the perfect pen with the perfect color of this kind of purpley pink that I really wanted, and lo and behold, one of my highlighters won, which was actually kind of nice because it had a pretty broad tip. So I went through and I color blocked this entire page with this pinky purpley mauve-y kind of color, and I kind of like it. So I actually spent a fairly long amount of time trying to find the perfect highlighter set for this year. I don't know why I hyper focused on it, but I really, really wanted to find neutral pens that I liked without having to go and buy individual colors like Tombow. So I bought several different sets off of Amazon and I wasn't loving them. And then I got this set and I am really, really pleased with it. This one is definitely one of the more richer, darker tones of the set. The ones that I usually use are kind of more tan and brownish, but I would definitely recommend them, so I'll have them linked in the description box down below. So I really wanted to add some texture to this page without having to resort to tape. So I went with stencils. I'm not sure I love it, but it was something different. And so I'm proud of that because we're trying new things. So the overarching plan that I had for the spread was that each box and coordinating collage would depict either a character or just kind of the overall theme and feel of the book. So the top one, we have our female main character. The bottom one is the male character. And then the middle one is much more just kind of hopefully getting the vibe of the book overall. And then I wanted to make sure that I included some of my favorite quotes out of the book, and there were so many. This was one of my first times this year that I actually tabbed and annotated the book while I was reading it, and there were just so many fantastic quotes, so it was kind of hard to narrow it down to just two. So previously in my spread on my genre TBR page, I really liked how I had kind of a more transparent marker on the back and then a bolder similar color on the front with the smaller print. I really wanted to recreate that, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out. I cut out a lot of the footage just so I wouldn't bore y'all, but again, trying to find that perfect colored pen. I don't know why I focused on it for so long, but I did. Eventually we found the color scheme we liked. I'm not quite sure if I like the font, but you know what, we did it and I'm happy with it. And like, growth. And then, like always, of course, I will include my days read as well as my favorite book of the month and my monthly stats page. So that is what these next 2 pages are. I kind of liked continuing with this same color throughout the entire spread to make it a little bit more cohesive. And also, selfishly, it's going to make it a lot easier to fill in these days read boxes, because last month I just did a normal felt tip marker. And it took a while. And I also didn't like the way that it looked because it wasn't super filled in and perfect. So I figured with a highlighter, it was going to look a little bit better. Also, because I've used this ruler so much with dark colored pens, it was starting to bleed into the tip of my highlighter. So I just went ahead and freehand drew in these boxes. It worked out fine. Actually, I'm kind of surprised that I didn't mess up, but we're happy with it. So the book of this month was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, and y'all, oh my gosh, I love this book so much. I wanted to keep the highlighter colors similar to the tabs that I used on the book, but y'all, this book is so good. So it's set in the same world as Caraval. You don't technically have to read the other series to be able to read this one. It definitely helps because there are some nuances here and there. But I love this book. The whimsy was off the charts. I mean, just absolutely exquisite. Also, one of the things that I really appreciated about it is that it felt very similar to Alice in Wonderland without having the madness undercurrent. Alice in Wonderland kind of freaked me out a little bit as a kid. So it was kind of nice to have that wild and wonder and whimsy without this madness undertone to everything. And I just really loved it. I cannot wait for the second book to come out this year. It was hands down one of my favorite reads of this year. And I just can't recommend it enough. It was super, super fun. I really loved the characters. So I loved it. I was very, very happy to get to have it as this month's theme. And if you have read it, let me know what your thoughts are. And if you haven't, please do. And if you do read it, let me know, because I would definitely love to hear everything that you think about it. But that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any book recommendations, please leave them as the comments down below. I would love to know what you're reading and what you have enjoyed this year. But I hope you have a fantastic week. Happy reading, and I'll see you next time.